Before you scroll, let me ask you something. What if the biggest thing standing between you and God's purpose isn't your situation, but your focus? Think about that for a moment. Right now, there are people listening to this who are carrying things God never asked them to carry. Regret, guilt, shame, disappointment. You keep replaying old mistakes, old failures, old seasons of your life that you wish you could change. And without realizing it, you're allowing yesterday to steal today's peace. But my child, that's not how God wants you to live. Throughout the Bible, God never called people to live looking backward. He always called them forward. In Isaiah 43:18, God says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past." Why would God say that? Because He knows something many people don't. You cannot walk into your future while holding on to your past. You can't embrace what God is doing next if you're constantly focused on what went wrong before. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've trusted the wrong people. Maybe you've missed opportunities. Maybe you've fallen into sins that still haunt your mind. Maybe you've spent years feeling like you've disappointed God. But hear this clearly today. God is not finished with you. The enemy wants you trapped in regret. God wants you walking in purpose. The enemy wants you staring at your failures. God wants you focusing on your future. Think about Moses. Before God used him to lead a nation, Moses made serious mistakes. There was a time when Moses thought his story was over. He thought his future had been destroyed by his past. Yet God still called him. God still chose him. God still used him. Now think about David. David wasn't perfect. He failed. He stumbled. He made decisions that brought pain into his life. Yet God never abandoned him. Why? Because God's grace is greater than human failure, and God's purpose is stronger than your mistakes. Think about Peter. Peter walked with Jesus. Peter witnessed miracles. Yet when pressure came, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Can you imagine the guilt he felt? Can you imagine the regret? But Jesus didn't reject Peter. Jesus restored him. And Peter went on to become one of the most influential leaders in the early church. Why? Because God is not looking for perfect people. He's looking for willing people. People who are willing to trust Him. People who are willing to get back up after they fall. People who are willing to move forward. Maybe that's exactly what God is asking you to do today. Move forward. Stop replaying what cannot be changed. Stop carrying guilt that Jesus already paid for on the cross. Stop believing that your failures are the end of your story. They are not. Let me explain it this way. When you're driving a car, the windshield is much larger than the rearview mirror. Why? Because where you're going matters more than where you've been. Yet many people spend their lives staring into the rearview mirror. They're focused on yesterday. Focused on old wounds. Focused on old disappointments. And because of that, they miss the opportunities God is placing right in front of them. My child, you cannot change yesterday. But with God's help, you can change tomorrow. You cannot rewrite your past, but you can step into the future God has prepared for you. And sometimes the greatest miracle God wants to perform in your life isn't changing your circumstances. Sometimes the greatest miracle is changing your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" try asking, "God, what do you want to teach me through this?" That question can change everything, because every setback can become a lesson, every failure can become wisdom, every disappointment can become preparation. God wastes nothing, not your pain, not your tears, not your struggles, not even your mistakes. He can use all of it for His purpose. That's the kind of God we serve. So today, let go of the guilt, let go of the regret, let go of the fear.